Good morning, YouTubers. Today's video, we're tackling the Precat O2 sensor of a 2013 535X drive with an N55 engine. So, let's see. We're going to start with the BMW manual, and we will go through what ISTA recommends for us to change the Precat O2 sensor, which is also known as the upstream sensor. This sensor is what regulates your fuel delivery. So if it goes bad, your car might run rich or lean. So let me show you a picture of the N55 engine. It gives you an idea where the sensor is located. So this is your N55 engine. You're pretty much looking at it from the passenger side. So this is the front of the car, and there is, I circled the O2 sensor. When you look at it, looks pretty easy. Looks like it's a very accessible, but the only issue is you barely have space for your hand to go in there. So this is why, we're gonna go through what BMW recommends, how we do this job. And then if you don't have the tools, the special tools, like my case, how it's going to be impossible, and we might have to find different ways on how to do it. So now this is that we have it opened. I'm at home. I'm not connected into the car, so you can use it this way to find out, to look at the manual and how to replace stuff, work on your car. It's got everything you need. So what we need to do is put in the VIN number. Then it's gonna pull up all the details about your car. And once this pulls up, we will go to vehicle management. And here pretty much everything about the car is under this section, but there are other sections where you can update all your modules. You have service functions. For example, later on I'll have to change the transmission fluid, and I can go in here and check the levels and whatnot. But for today, we're going under engine. We're gonna go to CO adjustment, oxygen sensor, and on the right side you'll have the menu that comes up. We're gonna select the last one, replacing oxygen control sensors. We're gonna hit display, and the first thing it does, it recommends you the tools needed for the job. So when you click on this tool, this is what the tool looks like. It's like an O2 sensor socket, but obviously it's special. Then you click on this, and this is sort of a swivel, but it's specific for this type of job. And then let me show you now how much they go for. So this is one of them, and I found it for 80 bucks, so 79.49. And then the other one is 115.50. So these, what you would have to buy just for that one sensor. Obviously a lot of DIYers are not going to pay this much for something that they're going to use once. So we always have to find ways on how to do this cost effectively. Alright, so let's see. So now the way ISTA works is that if there are steps prior to your job and it's already covered in a different section, then you won't go over it again. I'll just give you a hyperlink. You click on it. So this one talks about the stiffening plate or the reinforcement plate. You click on it, and it's pretty much telling you how many screws you have to remove and the size of them, and then it tells you the torque in specs when you put them back together. But the same thing applies. If there is a step that precedes this, it will give you a hyperlink, and before you can remove the stiffening plate, you have to remove the underbody, the plastic one, the one forward towards the bumper. So this one is under a different section. So you just click the hyperlink, you click on it, display, and it's right here. So it tells you how many screws, and same thing, tightening torque and everything else, right? So this is the plastic one. This is what I have, and other models have a metal one, right? So we go back. So this is the stiffening plate. It tells you, the torquing. So when you look at the torquing, when you click the little hyperlink, all you have to pay attention to is the 2AZ. That's going to be your section when you click, because it's going to be different cars, different models, but you just focus on the 2AZ. So when we click, this is the 2AZ right here. So it tells you the type of thread, and it tells you it's a 15 Nm, it's a 15 Newton meter, right? And once you reach that, you're gonna go 90 degrees after that. So that's F1, F2, F4, F7, F10 without M5, so except the M5, F10. So that's the way it works, right? In ISTA. So we go back. We already covered this. So this is the actual job. Right? So he's telling you the next thing you need to do is disconnect the O2 sensor. So you have two connectors here. One is for the Precat upstream. One is for the postcat downstream. So you're working on the upstream, the Precat. So you're gonna disconnect it. If you happen to be doing both jobs, both sensors, then you disconnect both of them, and you don't have to worry about mixing them up because one has 5 wires and one has 4 wires, so you couldn't possibly mix those up. So you disconnect them, and then they want you to go here, and this is looking at the sensor from underneath the car. So you can see here, this is the wherever this picture was taken, that's the roof. Those are the neon lights for the roof. This is the O2 sensor upstream, and the one in the picture that was highlighted in red, and this is the wire that goes up, and these are your tools with the extension that you have to get. So we'll see if we can do it. We might not be able to do it, but I do not have the tools, so I'm going to try it with what I have and see if I can get it done. If not, then we're gonna have to find other way to do it. So this is pretty much it. The same thing, the tightening torque. It's right here, the hyperlink, and you focus on 1AZ. So you click, and here is 1AZ. It's an N55, so it's M18 1.5 inch, and then F50 Nm, right? So just convert 50 Nm to foot-pound if you're working with the foot-pound. And that's pretty much it, right? So this is what ISTA is recommending to do this job. But now we're gonna try to do it ourselves and see what happens. So now you're just gonna have to follow me to the garage and we'll see how it's gonna turn out. Another thing worth mentioning is that if you are using the tools, you were able to get a hold of those tools and using them, it's recommending that when you're using those tools, you have to reduce the tightening torque by 3 Nm. So instead of doing the 50 Nm, recommended 50, you're gonna have to go 47. So you're gonna have to reduce it because, I guess because you're using all those, it's giving you more leverage. So to be more accurate, you have to reduce it by 3 Nm. To tackle this job, we're gonna have to take the intake tube right there, just so we can have access to the plugs. And the other thing you see, let me show you what, you see the O2 sensor right there? So that's the Precat, that's the one before the cat. And looking down, I can see that the reinforcement plate or the skid plate down there, if I remove it, I get a pretty decent space where I can put an extension and break it free. So that's what we're going to do. So I got tired of banging my head on the hood latch, so I just unhooked it. It goes pretty high up, I just got this, I've got it like supported, but I'm not too confident about that because it can just slip at any moment. But it actually goes a lot higher. Well, not a lot higher, but you know what I mean. It goes at a 90-degree angle. See right now, it's not really fully extended, but it's the space I needed when I did the BCG. So we're gonna start with these two clips, and then we're gonna do this one so we can remove the whole pipe, unclip the O2 sensor. Then next we're gonna remove the crankcase vent hose, and we're gonna remove this vent hose as well. These are all part of the PCV system. That's one. This one, I think, is T15. Okay, so you start by removing the plastic splash shield. It has I forgot how many, a bunch of the 8mm screws. That's them right there. And then once you're done with that, you're gonna have to remove this plate here. And it's got bolts, I don't know how many, I haven't counted them yet. But this is how we're gonna try to get access to the exhaust side from here. So, fingers crossed. Before you start taking off the plate, put a jack to hold it from falling, because I would imagine it's pretty heavy. So I just got a floor jack to support it once it's completely free, and then I lower it slowly. Okay, to remove this shield, you need to remove the front plastic, the splash shield, but you also need to remove the underbody that goes all the way to the back, but you don't remove all of it. You remove just like portions of it, because the metal plate is tucked underneath that. So you need to release a lot of screws, at least like 5 across, for you to get access to the bolts to remove the plate. So yeah, I had to release quite a few, as you can see there, because it's tucked underneath it. When I got close to giving up, after God knows what, I removed the first plastic splash shield, the second reinforcement plate, most of that, to find out that I couldn't get to it from the bottom unless I dropped the headers or the cat at least. And to drop the cat, I would have to drop some of the back of the exhaust. I was debating, because I'm by myself, I was debating maybe I should just go to the shop, because if it involves dropping an exhaust, you need at least 2 people to be comfortable. And I don't have a lot of clearance, so the further back I go, the less space I have. And when we start getting desperate, we start trying to come up with ways of doing it otherwise. And let me show you what I did. Didn't think it was gonna work. I sprayed WD-40 like an hour ago. And you see, I got a swivel. I got the O2 sensor too. I bought like way back in 07 when I had an E46. And then I put a swivel, and I put an extension, and this, the first hit, thing came loose. I'm in disbelief right now. wait until I take it out, because I'm not believing this. I'm like, no, no way. Because I tried it the other day when I was doing the VCG, and I gave it all I got, but I couldn't. Was the WD-40 a factor? Maybe so. I don't know. But all I know is the thing came loose. And now, let me see if I can slide my hand and try to take it out. See, that's what I did. So, that's what I did. Now, let me see if I can go. It's no space there. But check it out, guys. Got it out, man. Got it out. Oh, look at it. It looks really bad, doesn't it? I wonder if I buy those ultrasound machines. Look at it, guys. Just from the top, guys. But look, this looks in really bad shape. But check it out, guys. This is what did it. It's right here. And WD-40. I think WD-40 played a role because when I did the VCG, I tried. The only thing I didn't have this bigger one. I had a smaller one, but maybe I didn't have enough leverage. Use the O2 sensor tool with a swivel. Boom. Went in the straight, angled it correctly. You know, because I couldn't angle it this way, right? Because it doesn't give me room to spin. So I angled it this way. And then you have room to spin around. And all you need to do is just break it free, right? So you just break it free and then boom. I use the actual harness to twist it because you don't have a lot of space. You see, I'm like all banged up and shit. So yeah, finally out. Because I was thinking about, you see, am I mad because I dropped the plastic fairing, I mean the bottom plastic shield, the reinforcement plate, part of the underbody trim? No, this is how we learn, right? So I made the mistake. You guys saw it. You learned from it. You won't do it. So now you know what to do. You just get this and you can get it out. WD-40 though, WD-40, gotta help it out. It's not gonna happen just by itself. There you go. So now, we got this one. And for 2013 535i X drive, the upstream, which is the Precat, is a Bosch 170.15. So remember, 170.15. That's the part number for the upstream, aka Precat. And I can assure you, I looked everywhere down there. It's only O2 cents. I couldn't see the postcat. I gotta find that one. I think it's further down the pipe. But the Precat, yeah, only one. There's only one. I guess one bank, all six. You know, not like the N55. They got it on both sides of the engine, both sides. So one side is bank 1, sensor 1, and then bank 2, sensor 1, and then bank 1, sensor 2, and so on and so forth. So yeah, dude, I'm so thrilled that I was able to do it. I didn't have to go pay somebody. I hate having to pay somebody for something I can do myself. All right, so I was able to tighten it with the same, whatever you want to call that, and not a problem at all. I didn't use a torque. I just, you know, do it by feel. Plugged it back. It comes already, the thread has anti-seize on it, so you don't have to add. But yeah, it's in there now. This is the old one. I wiped it off. It was all white. It was all black. Again, so my thing is, This was an O2 sensor that was causing violent shaking, shutting off, jerking at like 50 miles an hour. When I look at the JB4 gauges, I can see the air-fuel ratio completely cuts off like zero. Like it goes from 15.4 to zero. So, which led me to believe that removing the JB4 allowed the symptoms to be a lot less pronounced. Not no violent shaking. I was worried about the motor mounts. I'm like, they're gonna freaking tear apart. But now the O2 sensor is back in. I'm gonna put the pipe, the intake, the cover. All right, so everything is back on. Started the engine, check engine didn't go away by itself, and I had a whole bunch of codes because I unhooked the vent, crankcase vent hose. I removed the MAF, so I had those. Anyways, I deleted everything, started the car, let it run a little bit, then scanned the car again, and I got nothing. I just got three usual codes that I'm already aware of. They don't interfere with the engine. So you can see the VCG is still holding up good. There's nothing leaking. But when I removed the skid plate, I did notice that there was, because my power steering keeps, I keep having to refill. So I did find a leak. It's one of the lines. It's towards the back, under next to the transmission. It's a really tiny leak, but it's not like a connector that I can. It's the whole line that it has to be replaced. Let me just show you. I'm gonna try to show you while I'm getting under the car, so this way it gives you perspective. So we're going towards the rear of the car. So this is driver's side control arm. So driver's side wheel. Keep going back. You see I have all this oil here, but this could be the oil pan, or it could be just from the VCG leak that I had for a long time. But you see, as you go back, that's the transmission right there. But we go towards the driver's side, and there is the leak. So this line goes up somewhere, and it's leaking right there. There's like a gasket, but it's not something, I think you have to replace the whole line. And that's why I keep having to refill. You see, if you would have never catch it, because it's like it's dripping here. This is the rear body, underbody cover. It's dripping there, getting absorbed. So it's not like it's not gonna leave you anything because it's such a small leak. Yep. So if I didn't open this, I would have never found out.